Before we dive into the practical farming techniques that sustained families through the hardships of the 1930s, take a moment to subscribe to Warpaths of Europe, hit the like button, and leave a comment below. Your support helps us continue uncovering the strategies and skills that history often overlooks. Now, let's get straight to the point. They rotated crops to keep the soil fertile and reduce pests. In the 1930s, soil depletion was a constant threat, particularly during the Dust Bowl in the United States and poor harvests across Europe. Families relied on crop rotation to maintain soil health and minimize the impact of pests. They would alternate between legumes, grains, and root vegetables. Legumes such as beans and peas restored nitrogen to the soil, while grains like wheat or rye used it differently, preventing nutrient exhaustion. Families would also intersperse root vegetables like turnips and carrots, which disrupted pest cycles. Applying this today is straightforward. Even if you have a small garden, plan a yearly rotation. If beans or peas occupied one plot this year, switch to carrots or potatoes next year. This simple strategy not only reduces the need for chemical fertilizers, but also keeps pest populations in check. It's a method still widely used by organic farmers and highly effective for anyone interested in sustainable agriculture. During the 1930s, money for commercial fertilizers was scarce. Families turned to composting as a way to recycle kitchen scraps, manure, and garden debris. They created layered compost piles, alternating greens like vegetable scraps with browns such as dried leaves or straw, and kept them moist. Over time, this turned into nutrient-rich soil that dramatically increased crop yields. For modern application, start a dedicated compost bin or pile. Add kitchen scraps, grass clippings, coffee grounds, and shredded newspaper. Now you'll want to avoid meat or dairy to prevent pests. The 1930s family's approach shows that what we often discard can actually fuel a thriving garden. Using homemade compost reduces costs and improves soil structure, water retention, and plant health. It's a simple, actionable step that any home gardener can implement immediately. Seed saving was not just economical, it was essential. Families would select the healthiest fruits, vegetables, and grains to harvest seeds for the next planting season. They would dry seeds carefully, store them in airtight containers, and label them with the year and crop type. This practice maintained crop resilience and allowed families to develop plant strains suited to their local climate. Today, seed saving is still relevant. Even urban gardeners can collect seeds from tomatoes, peppers, or herbs. Store them in cool, dark places to maintain viability. Over time, saving seeds from your own plants allows you to develop a garden uniquely adapted to your environment. It's a 1930s technique that gives modern families both independence and security when it comes to food production. Companion planting was another method widely used in the 1930s. Families understood that certain plants thrived together while others, they actually hindered each other's growth. For example, corn was often paired with beans. The beans climbed the stalks while fixing nitrogen in the soil. Marigolds were planted alongside tomatoes to deter pests naturally. This approach allowed families to grow more on limited land without relying on chemical inputs. Applying this today requires simple observation and planning. Pair plants like carrots and onions to repel pests, or plant basil alongside tomatoes to improve flavour and reduce insects. Companion planting maximizes productivity and reduces labour, reflecting the ingenuity of 1930s farmers who had to make every inch of soil count. Water scarcity was a real challenge, especially during droughts. Families in the 1930s developed practical irrigation methods to conserve water. They used deep watering techniques, directing water straight to roots rather than soaking the surface. Some built small trenches or channels to guide rainwater to crops, while others mulched heavily to retain moisture in the soil. Every drop counted, and the results were crops that survived even in challenging conditions. Modern gardeners can adopt the same methods. Focus water directly at the base of plants using watering cans, drip irrigation, or even simple DIY trenches. Mulching with straw or leaves reduces evaporation and maintains soil temperature. These methods not only conserve water, but also create stronger, more resilient plants. They are techniques that survived the 1930s and are still perfectly suited for sustainable farming today. The farming hacks of the 1930s were born from necessity, but they remain some of the most effective techniques for anyone serious about agriculture, sustainability, or survivalist preparation. Crop rotation, composting, seed saving, companion planting and efficient irrigation are all strategies that can be applied immediately, whether on a small backyard plot or a larger farm. These methods save money, improve yields, and reduce reliance on modern chemical inputs. If you found these techniques as practical and insightful as generations of 1930s families did, make sure to subscribe to Warpaths of Europe. Share this guide with friends or family who are serious about history, gardening, or survivalist skills. Drop a comment below with which 1930s farming hack you plan to try first. These strategies are timeless, and with your support, we can continue uncovering the practical wisdom of the past.